Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on the Buick Enclave. And it's a good day to do it. Bright, shiny. So we're going to be doing some rear brake pads. And pretty simple job. My rotors aren't bad. They're not warped or anything like that. They don't have any divots in them or anything, so I'm just going to replace the brake pads itself. And 9 times out of 10 you can do that, but just keep an eye on it. Make sure you don't get any hot spots or anything like that. The main tool that you're going to need is a 14, and that 14 is going to be for this nut right there and that one right there. So once you get those ones off, you'll actually be able to slide this whole caliper out. And then what you need to do is get a C-clamp, and you can actually press in the piston on the caliper itself. But before you push in that piston, I'll show you what you got to do. All right, so this is what you got to do. This is your for your brake fluid. You need to release all the pressure from it, because when you do press that piston in, the fluid is going to start to rise just a little bit, and that's going off your brake booster right there. Here's your tank. So just take that off, and now we'll be able to take this caliper off and replace some brake pads. All right, so what I end up having to do is there's a little nut that's right here on the inside, and you need to have your socket on the outside. So I ended up just grabbing this crescent wrench, putting it on the nut, and then from there I was able to break it loose. As you can see, doesn't take much pressure. And if you had an open end wrench, I believe it's probably a 17, but I can't find mine. So I just did the next best. So now that we got that on, what I like to do is just, I'll put my foot on it. Okay, so once you get this top one loosened up, screw it on just a little bit, so that way it holds. And then now that we have this bottom one all set up, now you can go ahead and take it off. So make sure you loosen both of them before you take the nut all the way off. Alright, so now that we have both those bolts off, now we'll be able to grab your caliper. You can actually just take it right off. Pretty simple. I like to put it up top so that way I don't ruin the brake line or anything like that. And this is your piston. You'll need to push that all the way in. And then here's the old brake pads. And you can see they're getting really worn out, tired, so we're going to replace them. And it's best if you have a flat head. I didn't tell you that in the first place, but grab a flat head. You can pry it out. Just make sure you don't damage your rotor when you do it. Alright, so as you can see, you can get the flat head in there. Nice and easy. Pry it out, and they come right out. So with this new kit, you're going to get some new slides. I mean, mine aren't bad. I don't know if I'll replace them. I'll just lube them up and put the new pads in, and then go from there. All right, so I don't have a C-clamp, and I'm not gonna go buy one. So you can grab a pipe wrench, put it on the back side of the caliper, as you can see right here. Grab your pliers. And just start working this nut, tightening it in. And now you can see that the piston is fully pressed in. Loosen it back up. So, and if you don't have all the right parts, you can improvise. I do that a lot. So now we'll just install these brake pads. And all I'm doing is just lubing up the slides. Less friction you have, the better. And I'm just going to lube up the inside too. And then what I'll do is I usually end up just putting just a little bit on to the brake pad itself. This will prevent any binding. Once you got it on, you just slide it right in. Just like that. And then before you put your caliper on, I like to grab some anti-seize, lubricate the whole outside so that way it eliminates any chatter from your brake pads to the caliper. Alright, so now you can see we got some lubrication on that pad and on the inside. And then what I ended up doing was putting just a little bit on those forks right there and then right on that piston itself. And now all I have to do is just slide the new caliper back on. A little difficult with one hand. Gotta push that little nut in, and there we go. It's in right there. And now what I'm gonna do is I will put some Loctite on these. I do have some, so I'm gonna go grab some real quick. All right, so I didn't have any red Loctite, so I ended up just using this blue Loctite. Any Loctite's better than nothing. So now you can just put the bolts back in, same way you took them out. And I will have to put that wrench back on and tighten them up. Alright, so I got the top one tight. And you tighten the bottom one. And that'll work. And then we're all done with this side, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other side real quick. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, I got both sides on. The other side was the exact same. And then now you just need to make sure you check your reservoir. There's my max fill line. I'm just below it, so I'll be good with that. Now all you gotta do is just put the cap on. Really crucial, you put the cap back on. And then when you first get in, don't just start it up and start driving. You want to get in here and just pump your brakes, and what that will do is it'll get the brake pads to seat against the rotor, and once it's firm, then you can go ahead and start it up. And then once again, before you start going, get a few pumps on the brake, and it should become hard to push down, and then you're good to go. Alright guys, so that's it for this video on the rear brakes for the Buick Enclave. So as you can see, it's pretty quick, it's simple, easy. The brake pads were like 47 bucks at AutoZone, can't beat it. And then it's got a lifetime warranty, so just keep your receipt, the box, bring the old pads back in, they'll swap them out. So other than that, thank you guys for watching, appreciate it. Check out my other videos, subscribe, like it, share. Thank you.